All right, everybody, away we go. Welcome to today's call. It is Friday, the Realty Classroom Sales Training Day, which is always great because I love this call. It's the most fun of the week, and it is August 23rd of 2019, to be specific for the timestamp. And my good friend Lee Stillwell has sent me some recordings early and often here, so I could take a look at those first. And we will take any kind of calls here today, any kind of questions, both inside sales and outside sales as we do. But I'm going to go right to anything you send me. So if you send me something during this call, you just let me know. But Lee has sent something first, so I'm going to go in there and look for that. And I'll get right after. Let me open up the microphones here as well and see that Lee is here. Hey, Lee, you there? I think I see you. Yeah? Okay, buddy. All right, give me a little bit of the background, and I'll go right after this one. What is it that you would like me to focus on here?
I want to, first, Jackie can't be on the call because she had a thing, but I want to get it on recorded so that she can listen to it later. But I basically want to just go through, we're testing different versions of the script. And I asked her to pull six calls to listen to. Really on this story from the bomb. I never had anything to do with that.
Okay, guys, hang on. Go ahead. Sorry, got a live mic. So you've sent me, I'm looking at the file that you've sent me, and I have an Excel spreadsheet. So.
Oh, that's the call. I just said that a minute ago. That's the actual for EOD for the day. I didn't know if you wanted to show that.
Well, no, I mean, there's nothing to show because I don't have the screen available. So I'm going to go right down back to what you sent me. Recorded calls for sales call, which was.
The other one I sent you yesterday should have 6 recordings on it.
Okay, yep. Hang on. Let me look to see. Yep, I got them. So let me deal with those. And anything in particular for a context that you want to share here with us and tell us what we've got, or we just want to go right at them? Your call, whatever you want to do.
I started listening to the calls a lot, and then we started critiquing a little bit, and I was kind of hammering home a little bit, maybe too hard, about how using certain words does make a difference, and we have to be cautious of that, and we have to test it. But you can't go rogue on what you want to say because you think it's not working.
Yeah. Okay, good. So tell me a little bit more about that. Did something like that happen where who was doing that? Who were you saying that to?
These are calls from Jackie, and then I got more coming from some others. But basically, there was a couple calls where Jackie was using the beautiful home didn't sell, and then talking about, I have some information that'll help you sell the next time. And then instead of saying, may I do that, she was saying, can I do that? Or I want to do that. Yeah. So I said that makes a difference because we're asking for permission. And then also, she was leaving out beautiful in some of the calls too. And I said, that is, the word beautiful kind of makes the people maybe a little bit.
Hang on. Hey, guys, when you come into the phone call in the future, you have to watch your phone. And we pick up everything here. So Lee, it's interesting that you should bring this up because I just had this conversation with Duran this week. And, Duran and I always have these funny, healthy debates where we go back and forth. So I was really, we were sort of yelling about it at each other, which is always humorous. You guys would love to hear those. But I said language really matters. See, because the big theme here is we're trying to get to an offer. As we talked about yesterday on the mastermind, we're trying to get to an offer that's impactful, that means something and matters to people, right? So what you say up into that point is everything. Because when we had Passion and her call last week where she followed exactly as a rookie doing this, she followed that very particular formula. She got to the point where she was, number 34, but she won as a rookie, as somebody new to this. I mean, she was able to come in and it was, she won. So that's my point to you, is that, not to you, but to everybody, is that as you move along that ladder, that language matters, that tone matters. I mean, I think what I learned by listening, I was talking to Autumn about this today, but by really listening to her, but then also more importantly, listening to the consumer. The consumer is the boss. We have to take this seriously. And if the consumer is the boss, listening to what they say and how they react to words is how you evolve a script, right? So my point in talking with Duran was his feeling was, well, it doesn't really matter much as long as this happens. And I disagreed vehemently about that, right? What I said was that I think that the pro telemarketers of the world have worked on everything from the energy of the day, the tonality of the moment, the verbiage one versus the next. And they're human too. So, I hear the variations. But what I find is that, and I remember what Kennedy would always say this, you'll get bored with your message before they ever do. Right. And first of all, it's new every single time to the person that's on the other end of the line for the very first time. So that sets up why. See, I think a lot of telemarketers, inside sales agents, et cetera, even agents doing it themselves, don't understand how serious that moment is. I mean, and I mean that. There's a small door, that first opening few lines, that's a hinge, it's a small hinge that swings a massive door open or not. So we heard it swing open in 4 beats last week when Passion was able to get the guy to say, well, you're number 34, but I like your approach and I'm going to have to sell this at some point. Sure, go ahead and send the information. It was ironically that easy. But if she had cheated that, which she subsequently did in the other calls, it meanders off into the woods. And oftentimes it's irrecoverable once it's off in the woods because we've lost that person's rhythm. There still was something intriguing to one of the guys she was talking about because we were talking about sending some information for free, which is a wildly unique offer. The problem is the ability to recover it, find out really where he's at from a timing and motivation standpoint, and really figure out, should she lean in for another beat to get you out there, Will out there, me out there? Or should she have gone, and said, great, I'm going to follow up, make sure you get it, and we'll go from there because the guy was like, you won, but don't bug me, just get it to me. Great, I'll follow up with you to find out. And that's it. So that's the why language really matters. And I gave this anecdote, and I'll give it again. A week ago from Saturday, I had an extremely difficult listing presentation because it was wildly emotional. I mean, and it went off the rails. But I never left the language per se or the formula. I never left. There was a 30-minute diatribe that went on and on and on where I was being sworn at, lumped in with everybody who was horrible, and I just never left. The infographic stayed in front of me. I still knew where I had gone off the rails staring at that point. And so that when it all stopped, I was able to give the best piece of advice and get up, walk away with dignity, and then strangely win the next round in the yard. So it goes to show you that if we don't use human discretion, get lost in emotion, right? State of the logic. I'm laughing because Autumn's in the room with me. And we just had this from more of a management angle, that allowing for ourselves to be human does not allow us to stray from the script or the beaten path and think we're going to win that way, because we're just not. You're just not. You have to stay in there. So having said that, let's see what we have here and let's see what we discover with these calls. Okay. But you bring up a fabulous point as to why. And it's weird. Like, Jackie knows you forever. Robin knows you forever. Laura knows me forever. Over the years, it's the people that get comfortable knowing us that think it's okay for them. I know, got a bad mic there. They think it's okay for them to stray for some reason. And that's called comfort. Comfort just allows us, well, we've got a bunch of stuff in the pipeline. Well, things are going well. There's a lot of things emotionally that make us think we don't have to do this way. Oh, I used to do that when I was a rookie, right? I probably said that myself, Lee, for years going into these houses. Well, I know what I'm doing. Well, now I'm fully responsible to this body of work and chunking it up for everybody. And it turns out, ironically, I think I'm at my best when I follow the yellow brick road. I think it allows for me to be the best version of myself because it quiets down all my noise that I would bring to it, right? So, and I think your staff, on the phones, in the field, any of you need to understand that's a key point here. All right, let's listen to this stuff without further ado.
Some of these, after you hear her say bye, that she forgets to disconnect, so you hear her typing, so just cut it off at that.
Okay, sure. Let me just see if I can open it first. Came to
I
me.
used to do that all the time.
Do what?
Forget to disconnect and start talking to Laura.
Yeah, interesting.
It's a newbie thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I gotta switch phones too, so I'm gonna switch.
Yeah.
Phones
Okay. Here I go. Gita Alaskari. Let's see. Here we go. Come on, Betty. Open up.
Hello. Hello. Yes, hi. This is Jackie. I'm with the Stairwell Group of Fremont Success, and I'm calling because I saw your beautiful home and I saw it didn't sell, and I'd like to send you some information that I think will help you get it sold next time. Can I do that?
Look, we've just taken the house off the market. We're not going to put it back on anytime soon. So,
Okay. So can I give you a call back at a later date just to see what your thoughts are on that?
you can do that certainly, but it's not going to be anytime soon, probably. So,
Okay. Can I ask you? I'm sorry. Can I ask you? Do you have any idea why the property didn't sell?
No, it did sell.
Oh, it did sell.
We had a contract, but they were asking for too many things, and we decided it wasn't worth it for us.
Okay. So you decided to hold off until a later date?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, can I give you a call in a couple months to see if you're still, what you're deciding to do, just to get your thoughts?
Sure, you can do that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. I have some critiques on this. Autumn's reaction where she liked some of this stuff. I'll tell you what I didn't like was that there's no she just totally strayed away from getting the package. And I think what needs to be emphasized here is that this package is extremely important. And all my mastermind members know I'm heavily affected this week by the loss of Dan Kennedy, where I learned this stuff from. He passed this week, and it almost strangely highlighted this spot where direct mail was always Dan's shtick, that we were always rushing to go somewhere else too fast before we would get direct mail. Now, I know and I understand that we don't quite understand this impact, so I'm going to explain it. When you send this package of information that does indeed help them sell it the next time with or without you, the relationship changes. Okay? So her job, per se, in the system, per se, is to get that dang marketing package in that guy's hands to change the relationship above and beyond everybody else. Because it is a foothold on the next call, because between now and then, Lee, you can lose this business easily, because anybody can pick the phone and do a better job and steal this relationship. Because here's what I would do if I were that person. I would have listened way more. She started rushing in the middle of it. In fact, she steamrolled him a couple of times. And I don't know why good telemarketers like Jackie or anybody else do that. I can't quite figure it out. Well, yes, and I was just going to say, I think it's just probably simply nerves. Mm-hmm. Is that what Autumn and I were talking about today is telemarketers and salespeople, we have to get our energy up so big. Sometimes it's almost artificial for the moment we find ourselves in right there. Like you could come in dragging your butt to work today and everything's just gone sideways in life. And you bring this energy in and you have to get up for it. Okay. That almost creates an adrenaline. So that when all this is going down on the phone, that adrenaline is so powerful that you start losing your way, which makes the anchoring in the system critical. It makes it absolutely critical because of that reality
Right.
that you have as a telemarketer.
Mhm.
You're nervous. This is a tough job. You have to get yourself up for it, and then you go. But if you have this organization that you just condition yourself, that's why we do this call week after week after week. It's the same for outside and inside sales. Don't cheat what we as a mastermind group discover. Otherwise, you're trying to do it on your own discretion and muscle, and that leaves you in a dangerous spot, which this did. And I'll tell you, there were wonderful components that we were reacting to.
Mhm.
Her tone, when she was there, she's very nice. She had a very quick question, that made sense to his context, but she didn't do enough listening. She didn't do enough tennis playing to keep him in the guardrails of the system, right? You could feel it. So let me explain. The minute this guy started to say, we had it sold. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? Well, we had it under agreement and this happened. Really? What did they ask for? There was it's a huge miss, right? Indulge him.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you need to dig a little more.
Well, it's not even dig. It's not even digging. He was giving it up,
Right.
but she wasn't taking it. So it's not even digging. I mean, he was the irony about this, Lee, is these people are volunteering this, and because of nerves or haste or, it could be worse. It could be, this is not going to be a deal. Wait. Try to determine the timing. He's saying, I had it under agreement. Okay, really? How come it didn't close? Because of this, they asked for too much. What do you mean? After the inspection? Curiosity is to dive into, I'm curious about you, Mr. Hero of my story. Tell me what's happening. Because what she just did was clog the future database with a prospect who's much weaker than he could have been. In fact, she doesn't know, you don't know, and I don't know if that guy could have been tipped to now. We don't know. It was rushed. Would it be okay if I call you in the future? Why? We don't even know what future. It's not going to be for quite some time. Oh, really? How long? How come you decided to stay that long? So if there's any digging, it's just simply letting this conversation evolve. And it's not even the sense of digging or pressing or pushing. It's not being pushy. It's he has volunteered a conversation here and she didn't take it. And that's the toughest part about after your initial opening, which again needs work. She was okay, but she was a little bit rushed there. And if there's anything I learned from listening to Autumn that I really believe is, here we go with this language. May I versus can I or will I, whatever, an alternative. May I?
Do that.
What was the name of the kids' game? May I? What was that name?
I don't remember, but I know
You know the
what you're
name I'm talking about?
about.
There's something that triggers in my brain when I hear may I. It's proper English.
Yes.
It's powerful.
Thank you,
It's
Dad.
kind.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, right. It's very powerful language.
Mhm.
And I think this is my point. If somebody wants to fight me on the difference, then tell them to come to our office and sit there and listen to the difference of all the conversations where you try can versus may.
Yeah.
And tell me if you just, because can I don't know. Can you? Can
You have
get
to
it?
work harder if you use weak language.
Right, because the proper language is, may I have permission to do that?
Right.
Versus, can I get up off my desk and stuff an envelope is ability, right? I mean, really, that's proper English. And so I think people don't really give a beat to proper English. May I is proper English. It feels weird because we're so colloquial. Here we go again, on muscle versus a system. So Lee, may I do that with attenuation and, an emphasis on may I? It's
Right.
may I?
Punching certain
Yeah,
words.
there's certain, and she kind of just, may I do that?
May I
Like, you
do
don't want
that?
to swallow that. If we know that to be in sales, a powerful trigger in the brain, because it is, not because I'm saying it is, because it is. May I is permission marketing. It is the essence of permission marketing, which there are a lot of more smart marketers out there than I am who have obsessed over permission. And when it ever hit me that, may I do that? May I send you my best stuff without obligation so that you can do better the next time with or without me is the underlying belief system. It's not the script, but it's the underlying. And she swallowed that. So I think once she swallowed that, okay, that's where he goes to the next level of, well, we're not going to do it again, right? because she kind of sounds like everybody else. And she didn't emphasize, I have some information that I'd like to send you that will help you sell it the next time. That's
Assuming.
that's the offer. That assuming that it's going down at some point, we don't care when, we want to get this to you because it matters.
Right.
So may I do that? And that trigger has been working like a charm for us because it's the logic. It's the logic. And again, Lee, this is why I say you have to go back to what's being delivered and have Jackie understand its value in that moment when it arrives at that person's house. It truly is a do-it-yourself kit if they could ever do it. There's pictures and details of the properties that sold a little bit above and below them. There's the 7 steps that anybody universally goes through to sell a house.
There's the
And then
newsletter.
there's a newsletter we now include with the market updates so they know the trends, and then an explanation letter. It truly is something that when delivered to them, they very well could sell it themselves. So the genuineness of the statement, not this NLP crap or, this nonsense, all this stuff. I'm looking for
And don't use the word free.
Yeah.
Because it's very valuable, it sounds like we're throwing it off the back of the truck in neighborhoods. Like
free is typically a trigger to get somebody to accept it. When you don't have to get somebody triggered to accept it per se when you understand its value. Okay. So Lee, that's what I heard on that one. Any comments?
No, I mean, I pretty much said the same thing. I said, I think you need to ask more questions, and he opened up the door a couple times and you didn't walk through it. So, I don't think she used the word free though, but
no, she didn't. It's just
I'm just bringing
we're bringing it up as something that it's more the point of the best language. It's not that, people get in an argument with me of, well, my language is still don't go there. We're looking for best practices. What works the best? What works the best? What tips them over? And that's it, right? And so as she goes on, it's more about her listening and being excited that he wants to talk to her about this, right?
Yeah.
Because he did.
Well, that's why I sent you the call, because I wanted this on. You're recording this call, right? Because I want her to hear third party, because so she doesn't think I'm beating her up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm recording the call in all sorts of places too.
Okay.
So YouTube, Facebook, and on the the recording. But again, like we've got to get, Autumn and I work through a tough spot today, okay, in our office, right? We've got to get beyond this personalization of this discussion, and it's hard to do, okay? In this case, when we listen to a call, I always try to make this as safe an environment as we can get. You got to get beyond your own insecurities when it comes to talking about business, right? Because it's really what's happening amongst a mastermind group of people to find best practices. It doesn't like expose your dumbness. Like it doesn't say, oh, you're a dummy, you didn't do this right. And we have to put that on the table with salespeople. Be open to a discussion about correcting what you do, making better what you do, or whatever you want to term it as. We have to have frank discussions about best practices. And I'm no shrinking violet when it comes to it, but I have this, this thin ice to walk on because people are fragile. Don't be fragile. We have to stop being fragile when it comes to best practices, okay? So I said that into the recording for her to hear that. You cannot be fragile. You must seek out critique. That's why I applaud the people who bring it here. They cringe when they hear their voice. They take the, quote unquote beating, and it's not. It's like, let's get this right, because on the other side of getting it right is more commission money for you, right? Get it right. But you have to get it right more so not in what Danny or any guru thinks. What does the consumer react to positively? And that's good guidance. And so when we have any conversation, if we get lost, just fall back to logic. Like granted, happened to you yesterday when you were talking about your guidance, for the high-end people. You just lost your way. And what I say is, great, there's one of my best guys ever. As a coaching student of this business, you're one of the best ever at being a student, but yet look at how easy it was for you to just lose your way. but it's that humility to come in and say, why am I losing my way? What is happening to me that I'm doing this? You're tired, you're rushing. Gosh, we could go down this long list of things. So read through what we know works and then become an interested party in the conversation. And you have enough business savvy, all of you, to understand what your outcome is that you want. You want to get the package in their hands, to change the relationship, to make it more professional than anybody else. Beat number one. If you don't get permission to send the package, you did not do the direct response marketing type of thing that changes how they see you. Number two, if the appointment is there now, get it. If it is not, get the follow-up sequence ready. I will call you back to make sure you got this really important information. Then when you call back, hey, we'd love to come in for the nickel tour. I told you I'm not ready. No. Lee knows that, but he always likes to know what's out there. And I'm sure he'll add some insights to those about those things that they try to negotiate with you.
Can we do that?
Can we? Yeah, that's interesting. That's when you say, "Can." I've heard you say, "Can I do that?" Can we do that?
Can
right?
we do that?
Right. So anyway,
Which means you, me, and them.
Correct. All right, let's keep going. So off we go to the next one. Let's listen to this one. Sorry, I got to open each one of these one by one. Any difference in these, Lee, as I go from one to one?
Yeah, I mean, there's a different script that we've used. I mean, so there are a little different.
Okay, here we go. Next.
Hello. Oh, hi. This is Jackie. I'm with the Stilwell Group of Remax Success. And I was calling because my marketing team informed me you're looking to talk with an agent about buying a property. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Have you started the process? Are you working with someone already? No, I'm not. Okay, but you are interested in working with someone to purchase this property. Can you tell me? Yeah. Have you gotten pre-qualified? No, I haven't. Okay. So is it okay if I connect you with a lender so you could see what you would qualify for?
All right, stop. I'm cringing on this one already.
Yeah.
Let me explain why. I'm cringing on this already. And here's why. First of all, before I critique this one, tell me the source of this information.
It's a set schedule lead that it's a lead gen website that we use.
All right, I really need to know more though. You got to help me have more. In other words,
so it's a buyer.
Yeah.
And we're basically, they came in on their system and we took the lead.
Yeah, I know that, Lee. I get it. Do you know the offer that they make to grab that lead to that buyer? Like, in other words, are they showing them properties? So okay, that's a problem. And I talked to Duran about this yesterday. We really always need to know what has been said, because you can hear the massive disconnect in this one immediately. Yeah, exactly. And I'll explain that.
Yeah, I would say that this is probably, I would put this up to a market leader lead, that type of lead.
Okay, good. Fine.
It's probably unbranded.
So they offered.
It is unbranded.
Yeah, okay. So they offered properties, and they capture this lady, and somewhere they have a box that says, "I'd like a realtor to help me." Okay, let's just presume it's that.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I want a realtor to help me. What's the value in the realtor that's calling me right now? It is not to dump me off onto a lender. Yeah. If I look at the 6 steps to buying success, here we go again. What is the number one thing that we do, that we talk about? What's the number one value in the system? We have 6 points in general systems on our guidance. Representation is the number one thing we talk about. Nowhere was that mentioned here. Nowhere. So if we're gonna work our way into how to deal with these leads, you asked for some help. Good news. That's what we do. We help represent buyers. Was there representation on a particular property you were looking for, or just in general? Great. Wonderful. By the way, as a dramatic demonstration of my representation, the first thing that these people that you're going to see these properties with us would want to know is, have you been pre-qualified? Are you working with a lender? Because if not, we have some preferred lenders. When the time is right, we'll introduce you. Otherwise, she just dumped this person off on your lender. And now you're trusting a third party for their follow-up to do what? It is 100% the wrong way to handle this call. Let me listen to more of it. In my opinion, which is not humble at all in this moment, because you threw away a lead already. We're 50 seconds in. You threw this away. Like, this is, hey, great, thanks for asking for help. I'm not the one. Scary. Hang on. Here we go.
Okay. All right. Let me just get some information from you. Where are you trying to purchase? Let me call you back. I'm sorry. I gotta call you back.
Bang. Validation of everything I just said in the next 5 seconds.
And it's not pretty.
Look, it's just lost.
The words weren't
Gone.
pretty.
It's just gone. You got it, Lee? Like, this is a real problem. Let's listen. Let's listen to if she can recover anything at all. But she gave this gal just way too much confusion.
You are. Okay. Can I call you back in the evening? What time? Okay, you can. Okay, that'd be good. After 5 is good? That would be good. Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk to you then later this evening. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. That if she got her back on the phone and had a substantial conversation, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, it's a loss.
I'll be shocked. That's the bum's rush, right? So now the good news is, this is not Jackie's fault. This is lack of an understanding of how this woman arrives at her and what offer she's supposed to make. The first one, we've already discovered that. This one, not so sure. This is why I pressed you, because you're not really exactly sure, as the chief marketing officer, how this lead was acquired and what her expectations were. That's a really important thing here when it comes to the connection of lead generation as it meets telemarketing. And I'm going to give you an anecdote that I threw at Autumn, that she and I are well aware that we need to figure it out together, and we are intensely going back and forth trying to figure this out so we get it right. So what I mean by that is, if you look at another, and it was great because we had Joe from Duran's team. Joe, if you're here today too, and you have another call you'd like me to do on the buy side, I would love to hear it, or Maxie's recordings, because here's the deal. If we as the chief marketing officers are not giving enough attention to exactly what is said by these third-party lead acquisition companies, how are we really explaining to our telemarketers how that arrives there? In fact, we're not. Let me repeat that. If we use an unbranded IDX site, a branded IDX site, for example, on the buy side, we have to know exactly what it's like to be acquired by that lead company and exactly what the expectation is. What should I expect when I arrive there, right? Hang on one second, I got a little noise in the background. Please remember, when you come into *6 your mics if it's noisy where you are. So I need to know so I can tell my telemarketing department, here, on these leads, when you see these tags, this is how I got them. Now, they may not be as good as these other ones. However, they're critical to the business because they're a buyer lane versus a seller lane. This is exactly transparently what's happening in my office at the moment. So, well, what do you mean? Well, I tried Facebook, which is an internet acquired lead. And we don't know on the internet, on Facebook, if people are genuinely looking. But my hunch is that Facebook can get people who are living live in that virtual area. I can make the same offer. For example, I'll be specific with you on Mindly. I know specifically Back Bay MLS listings, search like realtors, instant access, multiple daily updates, a picture of the Back Bay brownstone, and below that, again, the keyword Back Bay MLS listings, search like realtors. So I showed it yesterday to the telemarketer, Autumn, who now sees it and understands what specifically the consumer experienced. Then I say, and then interestingly enough, because it's Facebook, they have all the profile information. So presumably there's no logging in type of environment. Somebody says, yep, I want it. Click the lead form, auto populate. I'm through. I got what I wanted. So it's swifter than some of these other sites too, where they didn't have to type in. They didn't have to go through it. Might be better, might be worse, don't know. So when she called up, not knowing that, she came back with feedback and said to me, okay, here's what I just discovered. I discovered that she was from New Jersey. I had to press her a couple times because she was kind of pretending or didn't remember, either or. I didn't do that. But when I pressed and conversed, there was some genuine interest in Boston and ironically Cape Cod, which wasn't even on the list, but we had it covered. So now when she goes back to those next calls, we're starting to refine what we say. So we go back to the ad and we say, hi, Sally. It's Autumn Isles calling from Griffin Realty Group. The reason I'm calling is because I saw that you requested direct access to Back Bay MLS listings. You repeat the keyword, right? To Back Bay MLS listings. So I'm here to help you get set up with that. Something like that. We don't know yet, but really it's almost as if whether you got access to the pretty pictures at the ad, now what's happening is I'm here as a service. It's a presumed service because why? They saw that ad, they filled out the form. Now, again, we might have to go back, Lee, and retrospectively explain to them, you came in asking for this. So you reroute them, especially with these internet leads where everything's happening so fast. I don't remember. And one of the put-offs is, I didn't do that. Well, yes, you did. Either that or somebody that was logged into your account did. So yes, you did. But instead of being confrontational, you just reiterate where they know you from. Where they know you from. Okay? So in other words, I know you from this. I saw your beautiful house online, and I saw that it didn't sell. She missed the word online. What do you mean you saw my beautiful house? I saw your beautiful house online, and I saw that it didn't sell. So smooth. Okay? I saw that you asked for access to Back Bay MLS listings. I used the whole keyword that triggered them in the first place. Okay? So I'm here to get you set up to give you access like realtors. Trigger. Boom, boom. Same thing, both cases, boom, boom. But it is on us, Lee, first before it's on them. Because left to their own devices, that's what it can sound like. Because even pros like Autumn get nervous. And if you look at the worst thing that Autumn, as a pro telemarketer, gets faced with is not being set up for success by this guy, the chief marketing officer. You with me, Lee?
Yeah, I was just thinking because I think we export these leads out of the database and put them into Mojo. So I'm thinking that we got to start putting the resource of where it came from and the list also, so we do know that.
This is a fascinating conversation at this moment, especially Tony Legendry and I were really pressing this. I think the understanding of tools like Mojo Dialer versus just singularly dialing the phone is a huge topic of conversation that is incumbent on me to express clearly. If you use Mojo Dialer, you are going to lose unless you segment those lists. If somebody uses Mojo as a tool to dial a lot in a short period of time, they still need to know they're dialing buyer leads from a source. They still need to know separately they're dialing expired from a source. You have to.
Yeah, we do have them separated between buyers and sellers, but cool. We don't. So what happens with this particular program is they might have a compile of 10 different lead sources coming into their website. So it might be from Market Leader, it might be from Zoom, whatever. So I'm just thinking we might need to add that to the list as well.
Yeah, you absolutely 100%, no matter how you do it, need to give your telemarketers, all of you, or if you do this yourself, the context within which they're calling. Otherwise, you are asking them to do it on muscle, which is the antithesis of our thought process here at TRC, right? It is to empower these people to make it easy for them to get more yeses to packages, to setups, to whatever the offer is. Cool?
Yep.
I love this, though. I love that I have this to look at because The first one that she did just needs to be tightened up. Stick to the yellow brick road and don't diminutize the seemingly odd things we ask. May I versus can I? Big deal. May I? To raise the voice a little bit. May I? Almost like a kid pleading for permission. May I do that? Right? Very slow, methodical. And then the second beat was in that same call was to listen. All these people want to talk. Every time I hear this every week, I'm hearing consumers that want to talk about their situation. And you've got to listen. Stop trying to rush these dang scripts, because then you're also missing the new formula we've discovered. Get them the information to change the relationship. Why would we not want to market to somebody physically with the best stuff? Your best stuff, by the way, is not digital. It is physical. Yeah. It arrives at their home physically. So when you get that permission to arrive at there physically, now your follow-up call is so different from anybody else. You have a massive competitive advantage. I'll argue you have no competition at that point.
And the package could change his mind. He might want to slap it right up.
But that's also why I'm saying, keep going. Yeah. He's trying to say, we still haven't discovered, why don't you want to go right back on? Because he's traumatized, right? He's pissed off. Those are all solvable issues for Lee now. But Lee, you could be losing hundreds of thousands of dollars if this is the speed with which people are rushing through. Why? Because they got to hit 500 dials. They got to have 600. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. Was I was explaining to Tony. I was explaining to Tony. If we rush too much, we lose the ability to allow the telemarketing department to fully build them in that moment. It's so dang hard to get one person on the phone and get that far with the right offer, and then we're bum rushing them out the door. You heard 2 calls where we don't have the proper follow-up, and one lady just bum rushed us. Now she has to call back at 5 o'clock again. Right?
Yeah.
That's a waste of time.
That's what I say. I'm like, we worked hard to get them on the phone. Let's try to do a thorough, on the money type of deal so we can get that next level.
But the first beat's on you and me.
Trying to get them off of them.
But the first beat's on you and me to prepare her better than we did. Right?
Yeah.
That's the first beat. It's on us. We got to come up with it, saying, look, here's the source. Here's what they opted in expecting for. Here's what it looks like, because we're going to have the source company tell us what it looks like when they say, here's my info. So that when you arrive, now put the same thing on the sell side as the buy side. The value is not in even what I just told you about. Autumn's job in that buy side is to test, saying, I'm here to set you up in the MLS. But really, the next beat is, hey, since you're thinking about selling, what we find best is that if we send you out some information that will help you get the best deal when you do go to buy. And what is that? That's our course. That's our guidance. With or without us, take our course. No different on the buy or sell side. And for those of you that are recruiting, just take it to that side as well. It becomes the same thing. You have to remember, all you telemarketers, outside salespeople, we are in the guidance business. And the more that you guide along the way, the more you're tightening the relationship, the easier and automatic the actual sale of the property is. Okay. All right. Let me go. I'm going to switch gears here and go over to Joe. Joe, you sent me something, right? Just now. Joe, you there from Duran's team?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Hi, bud. It's okay. I could have asked appropriate questions in terms of selling. All right, well, listen, I'm not going to judge this by reading what you're judging yourself on that. That's fine. I'll accept it. But let's just listen to it in the raw, okay? Let's go from here.
Okay, let's listen to the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, great. So what are you guys looking for?
We are looking for not too expensive, but we would like to have a minimum of 2 bedrooms, but preferred 3 bedrooms. We need to have 2 bathrooms and a garage.
Garage. Got it. And what's your timeline?
A little bit of what? Oh, well, we have to sell this house first.
Okay, so you want?
It could be easy.
Okay. Do you need to sell your current home in order to buy, or can you buy without selling first?
No, I need to sell first.
I see. And do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
The realtor that you're working on right now, is that the one who's going to sell your house, or?
Right. I'm working through Quicken Loans. They're helping me with the realtor because they have a percentage back and everything. So.
Oh, I see. So,
Yeah.
and will you work with them as well in buying a home here in Northwest Seattle?
Right. Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, are you open to finding out the difference between what agents do for you and what they charge?
Yeah, I haven't gotten a hold of the other person yet, so but you can tell me what you charge and that, and then I can ask them when I finally ask them what they charge, see what happens.
Well, it's totally different. Our service is free. There's no cost, no obligation. But yeah, depending on offer that you will make, then we are going to represent you as a buyer only, or if you want, let's say, are you committed to your agent right now, 100% committed, or no? Like,
no,
do you
I
have
haven't.
a contract or anything?
All right, Joe, you there with me? Let's grab this. You there with me?
Yep,
Okay.
I'm here.
All right, Joe, in your own words, you're getting lost in this script here that's in front of you. I think there's some moments where you hit it, and then there's some moments where you definitely sound confused and you're running back to the script to try to bail you out. And I think you're not thinking. Again, same thing with Jackie. I want you all to think. This lady has given you some tremendous opportunity to close for an appointment. Okay? It's there. So, but what do you hear in her voice? What do you hear in the way she's articulating this? In your own mind's eye, when you listen to the recording now, what do you hear?
Well, for me, I hear that she's really not really that committed, and I think at the end of the call that she actually agreed for an appointment.
Good.
If we could have just
Good. Hold on. We're going to listen to the whole thing. Here's what I hear.
Okay.
Confusion. And that makes her the ideal candidate for what we do, which is called what? Guidance. See how easy this is? Like, it's just easy. But we get all worked up here, and all she's expressing is exactly what we would expect any consumer to express: confusion. I want to buy, but I need to sell this first. And then you repeated, do you need to sell first before you buy first, when you already knew the answer? Right?
Yep.
So what you did,
Right.
Was you added to her confusion. So now she affiliates you, even at a subconscious level, I'm not saying consciously, with confusing her. Okay? Now she's nice, and so are you. So everybody stumbles forward still together in this awkward dance where this could be edited up so smoothly. Oh, so you need to sell first. You could reiterate back to her a confirmation that she needs to sell first. Now, where does that put you? Immediately with a sell first or a seller call. Okay? I need to sell first. So she's prioritized it for you in this call. Go right into the sell side of this immediately. Okay?
Got it.
Well, wonderful.
Okay.
Right? Now, I know Duran has some particular things, but what I would say with Autumn is we go right back to the similar thing that we would say to anybody. Wonderful. What I'd like to do is send you some information that will help you get it sold. Okay? May I do that? Right back to the same spot. See, it doesn't matter what context we find the seller in. I don't know how this lead originally came in. It doesn't matter, because what she's saying is, okay, great. What I'd like to do is send you out some information that will help you get it sold when the time is right. May I do that? Yes, you may. Wonderful. Let me confirm that the address is this. See, I don't go anywhere else because I want to confirm that I'm going to now look at this is going to come back. Hey, Lee, can you mute your mic 1 second? You got kind of a squelchy mic there for 1 second. And I don't want to be the one that mutes you because I want to call for you in a second. So immediately what happens is now you get this direct mail marketing, and Duran has a fabulous piece, sold in 5. I know, I worked with them on it. There's a wonderful piece that goes out the door that explains this. Because what you did was you went into all this scripted stuff that said, and I know it's a script, so I'm not blaming you for it. This is why I say language matters. Here we go again. You referenced, you got defensive when she said, and I'm not saying you personally, Joe, the script almost set you up to be defensive, to say, well, we're not all the same. And would you like to hear what we do for what price? Read that line back to me, because I know it's written there somewhere. Something about price. The difference between you and somebody else. What does it say?
Would you say that, are you open to finding out the difference between what agents do for you and what they charge?
Bang. You made it about price the minute you introduced that. And it's a trigger, and it works. Okay? Because your insinuation is, I have a better price. Again, God rest his soul. Kennedy always said this. Be careful of that. That's a race to the bottom.
Sure.
It's a race to the bottom. The minute I mention price, because I'm trying to now win this conversation on price, I get it in times where you might have to do that. But why are we even going there? You haven't even begun to get them the value of Duran's guidance, sold in 5, which is his program. Right? So let's first get the value of what we do. Wonderful. There's a lot of difference between realtors. And so what I'd like to do is get you out Duran's plan and show that to you. It's really comprehensive. It's very effective. May I send that to you? She would have been a layup for yes. This lady you had her in such a nice place. She would have been a layup to say yes. And then you would say, great, let me just confirm the address to where I would send that. Is that the address that you would be selling, by the way? Because I'm sure we want to include some stuff that's relevant to that property address. Now you own this situation of knowledge, and you've gotten permission marketing to send this thing. Now you can come back to whatever feels appropriate. Wonderful. I'll get that out to you, and I'll be following up. But while I have you, let's go back to this. Okay? So it sounds like you want to make a move. Is somebody helping you on the buy side? See, I've already locked in the sell side to compete for that. I've already locked it in. Nobody is doing what you just did in this lady's case, because she says it later on in the call. She says, oh no, well, Quicken Loans, blah, blah, confusion.
She doesn't even know what's happening.
She has no idea. She's getting whipped around, and you could ride in with a white horse and a plan on the sell side. Get it done. That's a priority. Now come back to the buy side. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the buy side, because they're really two different sides of the business. Is an agent helping you on the buy side? Well, I'm working with Quicken Loans. See, you missed that because you were so all over the place yourself. You missed that. You know that when they talk about lenders, they're most likely talking about the buy side, right, Joe? Do you understand that piece?
Right, yeah.
A seller's not talking about a lender unless there's a buy side involved most of the time. I won't speak in absolutes, but most of the time, right? So you missed that. And you added more to the confusion based on that very little tiny fact that you could have heard. But it's about you slowing down, calming down wherever possible, because you're doing a great job with your tone, your pace, your clarity. I love all the language stuff. But your strategy, you have to see these two things. What do I have in my hands? Am I just talking to a seller? And is that all I hear? Wonderful. Whew. I get to focus on getting Duran sold in 5 out to them. This person's ready to go, right? And hey, by the way, now that I've secured a yes to getting this, are you thinking about selling soon? Because if you are, I'm sure Duran is going to want to get the nickel tour of the property to see it and give you real in-depth guidance if you're thinking about sooner than later. So you could have even had the second offer for the meeting based on her timing. You follow? Questions, thoughts about all that? You were really close, but you can just see by not understanding what you're trying to accomplish here, you just keep going back to the script and it sounds weird. I have a problem with the price thing. That's up to Duran. He'll decide whether you want to leave that in there. But would you be be open to seeing the difference between realtors? Because what I'd like to do is send you some information that shows you the difference with us. May I do that? See, you could have rolled into it easy without ever mentioning price. Why are we talking about price at this point in time?
Yeah.
It's a head scratcher. I know why. As a coach and a guy doing this a long time, I know why a lot of realtors think when they're on the phone that they're supposed to say that because, I'm losing. Somebody else is in there. You don't need to do that. Would you be open? Would you be open to seeing the difference? Because we have a very competitive plan that we use, and I'd like to send you some information on that. May I do that? I mean, there's a lot of ways. Yeah, come on.
Right.
Joe, the only thing I want to caution you about is that when they give you an answer that is not what you're looking for, be really, really careful that you don't let your disappointment show. Like you don't want to go, okay.
It's a great
You want to
point.
be really, really conscious of how you're coming off to them. You almost have to project yourself onto them and hear yourself through their ears.
And you know what else? That's the energy that absolutely I heard in Jackie's where she fell off.
Yeah.
Right. But even worse, I think it's that thing where when he falls off, he starts looking for something in the script or the bag of tricks to say, I can't lose. And he goes to what? Price.
Right.
And now she's talking about price. Well, we put you against each other and we'll see whose price. That's tough to reel that back in too. He could recover it and say, all right, let's just go backwards. I'd like to send you our strategic plan because it's very powerful. May I do that?
Yeah.
So he could always recover it in there.
Yeah.
But there's two beats that Autumn spurs in my head. One is not just the tonality of, oh no, right?
Yeah, make sure
it's what you do after mentally you go, oh no. Yeah. We need to raise our energy, say, wonderful. Would you be open to a second opinion? I mean, it's like most people looking for an operation, get a second opinion. Would you like a second opinion from us? May we do that? I mean, it's that.
Hey, Dan.
Backing with the logical. Yeah, go ahead, Lee.
I was just going to say, too, listening, man, because she clearly said that she had not talked to that so-called discount broker.
Yep.
Which, in my opinion, was like a green light.
Green light.
Let me get Ron in there so we can show you what a difference,
green
what
light.
The value is using us.
Green light.
Yeah, that's right. So the offer should come first. Because Duran told me about the offer about buying and then at the same time selling. So there's like a vast difference between the buying side and the selling side. That's why I wanted to, somehow
but
listen to the whole call.
She said that she had not talked to that.
All right, hold on. Let's listen. Lee, let's what he's asking me subtly is to listen to the whole thing.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's see him recover. And by the way, Laura Reckmeyer, I did see an email from you. Maxie, I did see from you. I will go overtime today because of that. I think this is really important and I don't want to lose my momentum. I'm recognizing both of you as the next two things that we will cover. So stay with me, Laura Reckmeyer and Maxie, who works with Joe.
No.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, would it be helpful for you then to receive daily updates by email of properties that match your home buying criteria from all the different real estate companies? And this would come directly from the source of information. I don't know if you know how the system works here. So there's only one primary source of information about homes for sale in our area, and that's the Northwest MLS. All the other websites get their information from that one site. So if you are serious... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I said, oh.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you are serious about buying a home or selling, you really want to get your information from the Northwest MLS website. This way, you get the best and most updated information, and they actually send you email alerts as soon as properties that fit your criteria hit the market. So meaning that they are either brand new to the market or they are coming back to the market. For example, if there's a deal that fell through or if there was a price change. So any one of this will trigger an email notification to you right away. Like I mentioned earlier, this there's no cost to this, no obligation, it's free. Would this be helpful for you at this time?
Well, sure.
Okay. So when can we get together so I can take down exactly what you're looking for? I'll actually bring my tablet with me. In this way, you can help me set up the search directly on the Northwest MLS website, exactly the way that you want it, so that you get exactly what you're looking for. Also, if any homes come up on the search that you are interested in, we can go take a look at them right after that if you'd like. So what's better for you, mornings or afternoons?
Oh God, that's so hard to say because, like, my husband works mornings and I work late evenings, so I would have to say probably right in the middle in the afternoon.
Afternoon.
Okay, so for the sake of time, is that what you wanted me to hear? That she says yes?
Yeah, and also the selling part.
Okay, so I should keep going then?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So early
Afternoon. Next Sunday. Monday or Tuesday?
well, today's Saturday, right?
Yeah, today's Saturday.
So Thursday would be the best day.
Is that you're off or something?
I'm off on this week. I'm off on Thursday.
Okay, I see.
Our schedule, they fluctuate.
Thursday afternoon then. We have like 2 p.m. or 3 p.m.
Well, I have somebody coming to look at the house at 3 p.m. So if you want to come earlier, that'd be all right.
Well, we wanted to go last, if that is okay with you. Thursday,
well then,
5, will that work? Or 4?
5? Yeah, that's fine. Do 5 just in case it goes too long.
Okay, Thursday.
I mean, that's getting kind of late for us, but we can do that. We're early to rise, riser.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I see. Okay, what about 4 p.m. or 4:30, something like that?
Yeah, try between 4 and 4:30 would be fine.
Okay, I'll just put it at 4:30 p.m. So let's meet at your home then. Will that be convenient to you? Can you confirm your address?
Yeah, 18072 8th Avenue Northeast, Shoreline, Washington, 98155.
98155. Did you mention Northeast Shoreline?
Yeah.
Okay, 18072 8th Avenue Northeast Shoreline.
Northeast.
Okay.
We're really close to Lightroom.
Okay, got it. So let's meet at your home. This way I can do also a market evaluation for you so that you'll know how much your home would sell for in this market. Also, I can give you tips on what to do and more importantly, what not to do to sell your home for the most amount of money. And we can go over all the various closing costs that you will incur so you will know exactly what you'll have left in your pocket after all the expenses. Again, this is free, no charge, and obligates you to nothing. Does that sound helpful?
Okay. The fact that it obligates me to nothing, yes, sounds helpful.
Okay, great. So when we meet, I'll also go over the home buying process with you so that you understand how the system works and what are what.
All right, Joe. Enough. I surrender. It's a lot. I just feel like it could be. Yeah, I just feel like it should be edited. I get it, but I don't get the point that 10 minutes later, you could have achieved this in 5 minutes. I just think we're losing efficiencies here with time. It just feels like, and again, it's not my business, it's Duran's, but listening to it as a guide, this needs to be edited way down because you could get out of this. And this is one of the debates I have with Duran all the time. Why do we say something with that many words that we could have said with at least half as many? That's my point. Because I'd like to see somebody, I want you to get me a call where you go into all of that and you get resistance. She's a sweetheart of an older gal and she's just going along with you. And so it's an example of somebody that's not resisting. I need an example of you doing this where there's resistance, okay? So I want you to remember that this week. Get me a call where there's resistance because, yeah, I'll just end up in a debate where I don't have proof of pushback because she's going to say yes to most people who pick up the phone and tell her what to do. Period.
Got it.
So you see what I'm saying? So you don't want to.
Well, keep it
Yeah,
short.
yeah. So you don't want to get high on all this verbiage and say, but it works. Well, I think a lot of things would have worked with her. Not the least of which is something much shorter.
There's a lot of people
Yeah.
out there like her.
Yeah, there are. And so
I would ask for the appointment as soon as she said she hadn't met with the other agent.
That's right.
yeah,
I
yeah.
would've
And
too.
he did, but it's almost like he has this obligation to say
Well, he took
all
a long
these
shortcut.
offers. Like there's all these offers. She's already said yes. Why are we going through it? If it's to set up a better appointment, that would be fine. But I don't hear that. I don't hear this. See, like in our world, Joe, the minute Autumn would get a it's a now sign, wonderful. What Danny likes to do next is he likes to come out for the nickel tour, as he calls it.
Maybe
So-
do that.
So may we do that? May I set that up? And then she rolls right into the seller qualifying questionnaire, which is a whole bunch of questions about the property and qualifying questions about them.
Which they love.
They love it because you're indulging them about their product,
They love
not
it.
talking at them like this. And again, this is effective. He gets in, there's an appointment. I understand. But it felt like just a lot of wasted time because he had the yes early and often. I think you did a good job, Joe. But I think as time goes on, you'll recognize you could do this with a lot less. All right, Maxie. Joe, give me another one when you get resistance. Follow me?
Yep, got it.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you bet. Because I really want to hear you struggle with that. Because I want to make my point by saying, look, I'm more interested in when poor Joe gets beaten up. You did a good job. You struggled through. You got home.
Yeah.
Bravo. Good for you, man.
Yep.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for the script. Good for the offers. Again, where I come from, I'm looking for efficiencies. I'm looking for the best consumer experience. As much as she said yes, I think he could have given her a much better consumer experience myself. Okay?
Decision.
That's just where I come from. And so I won't be able to show you the difference until you get me one where somebody just cuts you off in the middle of that. Okay? That's what I need.
Got it.
And I need to see
Thank
what
you.
leads it. But bravo, dude, for being in the hot seat with me every week. You're just only going to get much better, much quicker by putting yourself humbly in the seat. So good for you. I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thanks.
Yep. Maxie,
Yep, thank you.
you bet, buddy. Maxie.
Hi, Danny. I'm here.
How you doing, Maxie, my friend?
I'm good. Just have a very bad cough. I apologize for my voice.
No sweat. You sound fantastic to me as always, Maxie. Maxie, which email did you send your recordings to? I saw it pop up. Oh, here it is. Got it. The other one, the Griffin one. Let me go in here. Yep. Maxie, do you have any thoughts for Joe? Because you've been with Duran a long time and you listen to that. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, I sometimes agree with what do you call this? With the offer being too long. But perhaps if if there's still a way to to keep it short and simple, I guess.
Sure.
The recordings that I sent to you, one is just confirming the meeting. Two are appointments. But yeah, I want you to listen to it
You pick,
and see
Maxie,
the
you pick. You give me the ones you want me to do in order. Go ahead, you pick.
I could probably listen to Alan Chambers.
Got him. Here we go. Laura Reckmeyer, you're up after this.
Okay, thank you.
More of an investment property, is that correct?
Yeah.
Got it. And okay.
Okay,
What is your timeline? Are you looking to buy as soon as you find the right property? Would you still need a few more months to get ready?
Excellent. Yeah.
No, if we found the right property, we could jump on it straight away. But
Straight
it's
away.
finding the right property.
Okay. And do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right?
No, we don't at the moment. I just do it by myself.
Okay. All right. So, Alan, would it be helpful for you to receive daily updates by email of properties that match your home buying criteria from all the different real estate companies? This would come directly from the source of information. I don't know if you know how the system works here. There is one primary source of information about homes for sale in our area. It's called the Northwest MLS. So
Okay.
all the other websites get their information from that one site. If you are serious about finding that right property, you really want to get your information directly from the source itself, the Northwest MLS. This way you get, what do you call this, the best, and of course the most updated information. We'll actually send you email alerts as soon as properties that fit your criteria hit the market. So these are listings that, that are either brand new to the market, those that are coming back to the market to, for example, if there's a deal that fell through, or if there was a price change, any of these will trigger an email notification to you right away. There is no cost for this, no obligation whatsoever. Will that be helpful for you?
No, of course, yes.
Great. So when can we get together so we could take down exactly what you're looking for? I'll actually bring my tablet with me, and this way you can help me set up the search directly on the Northwest MLS website, exactly the way that you want it, so that you get exactly what you're looking for. Now,
well, that might be a little difficult. I jump back and forth to Australia all the time, and I'm actually located at a place called Moses Lake, which is 3 hours out of Seattle.
Oh, okay.
West.
No worries then.
We'd have to do it over the phone if possible.
Okay. What do you call this? Then we could, if you don't have an extra time to do an in-person meeting this time, let's go ahead and have your portal set up, even just, via phone perhaps, to make sure that you are receiving listings that are relevant, that are available, right? And that exactly fit the property that you're looking for. I wasn't able to get which areas are you mostly interested in, and if there's a price point in mind, perhaps.
Obviously inner city is possible, if possible, close to Seattle. I like the Queen Anne.
All right, let's grab that piece. My dear, you are just, your pace, and your tone, you are a 10 out of a 10. I mean, just what a pleasant experience it is to listen to you, having done this now a long time. And what I would say to Joe, listening to your call, Joe, pick up the fact that she makes a very long offer, sound conversational, with a couple of transitions there. I forget what there was one line there. She made it sound very conversational. She brought him back into a conversation, even though this offer, and there's the critique or support, Maxie, because I know Duran wants you to read that entire thing. And I'm not going to debate him about chopping it up. He will or he won't. I believe it's too long. And I would also like you, if it happens to you, if either one of you get beaten up when you're reading, because that's what you're doing, when you're reading that offer, I want to hear challenges to it. These are good calls. And who's going to argue with, sure, at the end of both of those? Nobody. There's no argument to make. Because the truth is, in talking to Autumn and teaching her this, that is the right offer. It is access directly to the multiple listing service like realtors, which is absolutely the core offer on the buy side when you're upgrading service. Wonderful. So we can debate how many words it takes to say that correctly. I don't want to go there. What I want to go there on is just making sure, even though that's long, it sounds one, conversational, and two, you listen. If they stop you, you did a good job moving smoothly. You didn't fall off the cliff when he said he couldn't meet. Wonderful, no problem. Let's just get you set up. Boom, go.
Queen Anne is a luxury market, by the way. If he wants to buy on Queen Anne.
Yeah. So immediately the sound of ultra service is here. The offer is too long in my estimation, but effective. It gets a yes. So the only question is, how few words could we say that and still be as effective? And we need proof that there are times where these two are losing because they're saying too much, right? That's the only reason anybody like an owner would say, okay, let's tighten it up.
And a couple words are weak. Like, would that help you? I don't know. I'd have to think about it. It just seemed a little bit, just like a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's
not a bad. No. It's not bad because it got the yes.
Yeah,
but
and it's a good offer because it's core to what I believe too. Because Iran read that to me the other day. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So Maxie, it's nice to hear you say it well, And Joe, for you to recover into it was very good too.
Right.
So the good news is, as I told you around the other day, the offer itself is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
The core idea is excellent. And I think it's down the middle of the bullseye. Technique and tactic, too long for me, but that's a debate. But it goes back to how we arrive at that moment too, that I think we found today was more the challenge and the problem.
Right.
I didn't really hear a lot of the beginning of how this guy answers the phone. This call picks it up kind of in the middle. Maxie, I don't have time now for this one, but the next time I'd like to hear it like a full call with you. And if you could, I know now you're both good at certain pieces of it. Show me where you struggle or struggled with somebody.
Right.
That's what I really want, because to get good people better, you need to hear struggle. And what I want it to come from is the consumer. So I don't want to be theoretical here. I want this consumer facing first. What are we doing to get more consumers to say yes like these two did? I mean, that's excellent, because now you've prospected them. In fact, Joe turned it into an appointment, which is really good. Duran goes in there to that appointment. Duran will get that business. There's no doubt. That's a deal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's a deal. Duran goes into that lady with his ability to be good. Off he goes. Right? Okay. So bravo to the two of you. Let me deal with one more thing before we call it a day here, because this was in the context of provoking sales, right, Laura Reckmeyer? Is that like, give me a little context here.
Yeah, I'm following up with old leads.
Yep.
And I don't currently have them on a drip.
Yep.
And I wanted to start the drip sort of process, but I just really wanted to reach back out to people and kind of see if they've purchased, if they're still looking, and if I can help.
All right.
Without being salesy.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to read what you wrote verbatim. Then I'm going to give you my thoughts on, again, what I would do to edit it. Okay? And keep it in line with the subsequent telemarketing phone call that you're also making at the same time. I want to align everything and edit it. So the first thing is, Dear Danny, it's been a while since you reached out to me on Market Leader, I'll make it up, about your home search.
Zillow, it was like Zillow or Trulia.
Cool. Yep, Zillow, about your home search. I just wanted to check in to see if you bought a home yet. And then you roll right into another salesy thing, and you just said, I don't want to be salesy. Interest rates are low and inventory is up. It's a great time to buy. That's not consistent with asking the question, waiting for the answer. I know you're not here, it's an email, but stop. Put a space there. Act as if this is a phone script, because it would be the same phone script you call with. Your marketing, email marketing should match your telemarketing wherever possible. The consistency of message to the language is the same. So the first thing that I see is this is true as a market update, but I would reserve the market update for somewhere after I get through the business of, hey, you've been in my world. Hey, I don't know if you bought yet. I'm checking back in. Get that business done.
Agreed.
Right? Now.
So yeah, that would have been a great follow-up email or market update.
Exactly.
Exactly. Gotcha.
Yeah, it just becomes obvious when you read it, because you think about it. Would I have said that in best practices if I was talking to them on the phone? The answer is probably no, knowing what we all know today, right? So would you be interested in getting set up on the MLS so that you can get the most accurate information, listing updates in real time? Good. This is what we just went over. This is the essence of the offer we just went over, right? I also thought it might be helpful to start sending you sold listings so you could see, and you could edit this where it said, and it would include sold listings so you can see what the money's actually buying. See what I mean by edits? If we would just read these dang things and say the same thing in less words, that's what copywriting is about. You always want to get rid of words that are not necessary or weak, right? So you segue. And I'm saying this, I'm exaggerating the point because we just went through this in the script. They just didn't need all those words to be that effective. Same thing here in this email. I always coach now break these. Remember, we are living in a Twitter world. You have a paragraph that's 4 sentences long. In the world of skimming and copywriting, we skim. Don't make me read 4 lines in a row. It's too long, especially if it comes up on my phone. It looks like a book. Break this.
Yeah, well, so this part this next section could just be taken out. Probably.
Yep. Perfect. See, you already beat me to the punch. I always coach my clients to list the price. It's simply blah, 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 blah. You're right. Means nothing, right? To that person that's just there. See, this is much more about being provocative. I mean, if you want to even use triggers, hey, haven't heard from you in a long time. Before I delete your account, I just wanted to make sure that you're no longer using my site. You want to get somebody's attention, right? So let me know if you've already bought a home, and if not, I'd be happy to check in to make sure you're getting everything. If you're still looking, are you getting everything from my site you want? Question mark, pause, box, right? By the way, I could upgrade this service to the multiple listing because it includes sold listings. You can see what the money does. Pause, box. Either way, whether you have or you haven't, would you do me the courtesy of letting me know so I can clean up my database? Either way, would you please let me know? Will you please is a trigger language, by the way, in Cialdini's book. Will you please? May I? Those are real triggers to get somebody to respond. Please give me the courtesy of an answer either way so that I won't bother you. But if there's a chance to help you, I can lean in. See where I'm going? Don't be afraid to explicitly ask.
Well, I have a question. So that wouldn't that be a few more touches down the road? Because these are people I have not followed up with ever.
No. Why? No, why? Why? Get out or get in. The faster I can find out whether you bought a house already or not, whether you're using my website or not, those are the only two things you need to know, right?
Oh, you're saying just let me know either way if you bought a home so I can update my database and not bother you anymore.
Amen. You got it. Okay. Right down the bullseye. Good job. That's all the purpose. Laura, I think when we step back and we look at this through the lens of the manager, what's the manager trying to achieve? Cleansing of the database. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. I never called you. So here I am. You came into my website back some time ago. I want to see if you ever bought a house and if the website is still being used before I delete your account. Either way, please let me know. And Laura, if you send me an email, I'll cut and paste. I have one of those emails that I built into my system so that I don't I was just listening to some really smart info marketers today. If you opt out or do something, they delete you. They do not want noise in their database. One guy was 35,000 people when he was first an internet marketer. He's down to 7,000 people because he just, boom, out you go. I do the same here.
I do too.
Yep. I mean, you tag them, but I'm getting ready to.
You just delete them.
Yep. I would. Less is more. Nature hates a vacuum.
That's so scary.
Yeah, it is scary, isn't it? Right? Nature hates a vacuum.
So, Danny, I'm sending you an email to send me that.
Yep.
Send me that. What is it? It's a short follow-up?
I call it the kick-out email. I call it the kick-out email.
Okay.
Yep. It's as much for me to be a good manager as it is for them.
Okay.
But job.
Thank you.
Just make sure you pick up the phone and do this piece of it. All right. All right, guys, we went way OT today, and I love it. You come to me with real anecdotes, but please, I'm asking, now let's go another level. Bring me the ugly ones. Bring me where you get sworn at, yelled at. Yeah, Paul, come on. Go ahead, Paul.
I'll send you a text if you can just take a peek at that when we're done. Thank you so much for your call today.
Yep, you bet. Let's go to the next level, though, gang. Get me the ones where you are fumbling and stumbling and scared and all that stuff, because I am your safe harbor. I am your safe harbor. You might not think it, but see all these nice, humble people that are coming in here, they're getting better week by week. Look at Maxie's call. Holy moly, Maxie. Holy moly. I mean, delish, right? Tone, pace.
Can we get those other 4 next week of Jackie?
You bet. But have Jackie sitting still. I don't care what else is going on in her life. I need her sitting still. Okay?
I agree.
Yep. Sit them still right there, because nobody should be defensive. We should not. We should be excited. Like Will Daly was excited to get me Passions calls. Like he was reminding me all week because he was excited because he knows as a manager, if he can get the critique, if she can hear it and we can tweak it, the next 7 days are better. Right? So we just did here, Autumn, I turn her loose like a rabid dog on these leads. I say, here's what I think we should say. Stay consistent with this. She comes back, say, it was a little weird. Here's what it sounded like. We already made our adjustments. And she learned today that offer, albeit verbose, I believe is right and in line with what we do. We just need to do our own edited version, period. But the offer, cherry, real good. Yeah, delish. They did a good job, both of them, with that offer. Tell Duran I said that, okay?
We will.
Okay. Good job, all. Everybody have a great week, and go and practice this stuff and bring me some, some live meat next week, and we'll do it again. Thanks for being here. See you later.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Danny.
Yep.
Thank
See
you.
gang. Good work.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good call.
Yep, definitely.